There's a battle brewing in the town of Metolius over a giant wooden train. City leaders feel it's a nice historic piece, but one woman says it's nothing more than a reminder of a horrific crime. Ariel Brumfield explains.
This wooden train right behind me is at the center of controversy here in the city of Metolius after a woman says she was sexually abused by the man who built it. 29-year-old Cassandra Ruald says beginning at the age of 9, she was sexually abused by her stepfather, Richard Pickett, for almost a decade. Ruald says Pickett built wooden trains and used the toy structures as an excuse to be alone with her. Pickett was convicted for sexually abusing Ruald and pled guilty to charges related to child pornography and child sex abuse. Ruald says she was driving through Metolius with her husband when she drove by City Hall and saw the train displayed outside. She says she was so shocked to see it, she almost crashed. She attended the Metolius City Council meeting in March with her husband and gave a statement detailing her history with Pickett. She was told the train was going to be removed and noticed it was gone the next day. And as a result of wanting to move forward, she didn't continue communication with City Council members when they tried reaching out again.
I was just like, it's going to be removed, it's done. I don't really care anymore. I want it gone. But then we got notice that they actually changed their mind and held a vote to put it back up in front of City Hall and display it, despite what they had told us back in March.
Ruald says she received a notice via email and by letter that the train would be placed back in front of City Hall. Metolius City Councilor Dan Dulaney says on July 6th the council had a meeting and voted to have the train placed back in front of City Hall, but he says Ruald did not show to the meeting.
They just don't get it, and for them to display it out, prominently displayed in their city and City Hall, they're telling all the victims or potential victims that if they come forward, no one's going to hear you. And I want to make sure that children are being heard.
Councilor Delaney says the train represents the history of the city and the Oregon Trunk Railroad back in the 1900s. I asked Councilor Delaney if he understood why Ruald was so offended by the display of the train and how difficult it is for her to see the train when driving through the town, and he replied,
"You know, she doesn't have to come through Metolius to either go to work or come home. She could take 97 if it's such a damn problem to her."
The train now sits a block away from City Hall at a warehouse on Washington. It's placed behind a tractor. It will be moved back in front of City Hall, but there is no set date. Ariel Brumfield, News Channel 21.
We want to know what you think about this. Should the train in Metolius be destroyed or preserved? To weigh in, head over to our web poll on the KTVZ.com homepage.